The woman enters the house with a young woman and tells her to make herself comfortable. The woman greets her son, who was sitting on the sofa. She introduces her son to the young woman. The two young men greet and hug each other. The woman explains that the young woman will be their new maid. The boy welcomes the young woman, and the young woman says that it will be a pleasure to work for them and that she will be available for whatever they need. Then the woman says that she will introduce the house to the young woman. The two leave together and the son observes. After the two leave, the young man comments that the maid is very pretty and that it will work out super well for the two of them alone in that house. He celebrates that his mother got a pretty young maid. He says that he doesn't even like to remember the old women who worked there before. He makes plans to hit on the young woman. Moments later, with a plan in mind, the young man calls the maid. He tells the maid to come to him. Then the maid comes from the kitchen and asks what she can do to help the young man. He tells the maid to sit with him because he needs to talk about something. The young woman asks if he did something wrong, and the young man says no. He tells her that he found the maid very beautiful from the moment he first saw her. He asks if he has a chance to get involved with her. The girl says she is sorry and that he is too young for her. She says it wouldn't work out. She says that besides his age, he is her boss and so they can't get involved. He says that has nothing to do with it and touches her hand. She pulls her hand away and says she is just there to work. He touches her again and tells them to stay just once. The young woman asks him not to do that again and not to touch that subject. He approaches her again and asks why. The young woman is firm and says she has no interest. She moves a little further away. The young man insists on touching the young woman and says that she is beautiful. She says she needs to get back to work. So the young man tells her to go. After the young woman leaves, the young man becomes angry. He says that one way or another the maid will have to give in to him. He says that the maid will be his, and if she isn't his, she won't be anyone else's. Later, the maid is cleaning the kitchen when the young man arrives and asks if she has thought it over. The woman says she hasn't changed her mind. He touches her and asks why. She holds back and tells the young man to respect her. She says she is there to work because she really needs that job. The young man, touching her, says that it won't get in the way of her job because the two of them are alone. She says that he is harassing her. The young man says that she will regret not staying with her. After the boy leaves, the maid gets worried. She wonders how to resolve this situation. She concludes that if she tells her boss, she will side with her son. She says she really needs her job and can't be fired. She says that she needs to save money to pay for her college. Days later, the woman goes to talk to the maid. She asks how things are going and if the maid has adjusted yet. The maid says that everything is fine and she is finishing making lunch. The mistress tells the maid to call her when the food is ready. Then the maid continues her service. Meanwhile, the mistress is in her office taking care of some business when the son arrives to talk to her. And the son asks if the mother has seen the money he kept on the shelf. The mother says she hasn't seen it. Then the son says that since the maid arrived in that house his money has been disappearing. He says he didn't want to bother his mother with it. The mother says that what the son is saying is very serious. The son tells the mother to talk to the maid. The mother says that she will watch the maid in everything she does, but that she cannot accuse her without proof. The son says his mother is right and leaves. The next day, the son goes to talk to his mother who is on the couch in the living room. He asks if the mother is already going to work. The mother says yes. Then the son says that he will leave some money on the coffee table and that if the money is gone they will be sure that the maid is stealing. The mother says that the son is already getting paranoid. He says that he just wants to do a test and then they can relax. The mother says that she is sure that he will come home from work and his money will still be there. Then she says she already has to go and says goodbye to her son. The son says he's going out too and just gets a drink of water first. Later, the maid is cleaning the living room. She dusts off the coffee table and finds the money. But she puts it back when she finishes cleaning. So she continues cleaning the room when the young man appears saying that he needs to talk to her. The maid says he can talk. He says the maid has one more chance to agree to stay with him. But if she rejects him, he will make her life hell and make her mother fire her. The maid tells the young man not to do that to her because she needs the job. The young man says that she is the one who decides, but if she doesn't make the right choice, she will have consequences. The young woman says she is sorry, but she will not get involved with him. So he tells the maid to bear the consequences. The maid worries. Moments later, the young man takes the money he has hidden and says that the maid will pay for what she has done. He then calls his mother, who is on her way home from work. The mother answers the unexpected call. The son asks if his mother is arriving yet. He tells her that the test he did with the maid worked out. He says that the maid took the money and that he knew this would happen. He tells his mother to fire the maid as soon as she gets home, because you can't trust a thief in their house. Then, the young man says goodbye to his mother and hangs up the phone. He smiles, saying that the maid is going to go bad. A short time later, the mother arrives. She asks her son where the maid is. He says she is in the kitchen. The mistress calls the maid and tells her to go there. The son stands beside the mother to observe her revenge. The maid arrives and asks what the mistress wants. The woman says she knows what the maid has been doing in her house. She says that she hired the young woman to help with the household chores and not to take her son's money. She says that she trusted the maid and that she ended up disappointing. The maid defends herself by saying that she never took anything from them. The woman asks if the maid was implying that her son is a liar. The son says that he tried to warn his mother. The mother says that the son was right all along and you should have believed him from the beginning. She tells the maid to leave their house. The maid says she didn't do anything. The woman says her son would never lie about it and she will look on the cameras to prove it. The son says the mother doesn't have to do that and says let it go. The mother says she can't let it go because the maid is putting his word in doubt. She says she will defend her son's honor. In the footage, the woman sees her son harassing the maid, who becomes frightened. The woman says she can't believe what she is seeing. The son says it's not what the mother is thinking. The young man explains that he did it because the maid did not want to date him. The mother says that she did not teach her son to act like that. She says that what her son did was crazy. The boy apologizes and the woman says she has no excuses for what her son did. She says that if a woman says no, it is no. She says that harassing a woman is a crime. The mother goes on to say that she is going to teach her son a lesson that he will learn to never do what he did again. She says that she is very disappointed in her son and tells him to get out of her way. After swarming her son, the woman talks to the maid. She takes his hand and apologizes. She says she is very ashamed for what her son did. She says she doesn't know why her son acted like that. She says she always taught her son to respect women. Then she asks forgiveness for everything once again. She says her son manipulated her and she doesn't know where her son learned to be so mean. She says she doesn't know where she went wrong and tells the maid to keep working with them. The son comes back and asks his mother for forgiveness. He says it won't happen again. The mother says that the son doesn't owe an apology to her, but to the maid. The young man apologizes to the maid. He says that this will not happen again. The mother says that she hopes that what her son is promising is true, but that he will still learn his lesson. Turning to the maid, the woman says that she hopes the young woman will truly forgive her. She says she knows how bad it is to be harassed and not have your will respected. She says that the maid should have talked to her, because she would have taken action, even though it was her own son. The maid says that she thought the mistress wouldn't believe her. The mistress said that she would never doubt a woman who says she is being harassed, and that the maid knew that she could look at the cameras to ascertain the facts. And that just as she is going to teach her son a lesson now, she could have done it earlier. She reassures the young woman that it will never happen again. Then the two embrace and the woman says that everything will be fine. The maid says that many women like her who work as maids suffer this kind of harassment on a daily basis. She is happy that the mistress found out about it. The mistress also says that she's happy that she doesn't have to hide it anymore. She tells her that she will take care of her from now on.